gifts to abundant living. And now, today, settle into your seat, open up your heart, and be prepared for the final gift. The biggest gift that you can give yourself is the gift that Reverend Joyanne is going to speak to us this morning. So just be open to receive this gift of surrender. Reverend Joyanne.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Let's do that together. Good morning. Doesn't that feel good? Yeah. So before I share the final and last gift, I want to invite those who have teddy bears. For those of you who are new here today, we are having a teddy bear drive. We are receiving or collecting teddy bears that we gift to children of domestic violence during the holidays, or families of domestic violence during the holidays. We've invited Walmart to play with us. So they are collecting, I believe. I sent them a letter. So I'm imagining, you can vision with me, Walmart trucks pulling up with hundreds and thousands of teddy bears. So we have a huge donation that we can give to our community. So join me in that vision. And if you brought either socks for seniors, we also have socks on this side. We collect socks for the seniors, and we give them cozy socks, Meals on Wheels. We don't want to run over our food. So we give them also this year. So our center is involved in loving service to our greater community. So right now, those of you who brought something, please come up and make your gift. Oh, you have to see these socks. Turn around and show her your zebra socks. Ah! And the teddy bears can go in the new box. We filled one whole box. Isn't that amazing? You can put them in the new box too. Yes, and I want to know who brought this ginormous teddy bear. One of the kids brought this. Will you show the ginormous teddy bear?
It's a gorilla.
Wow! So thank you, whoever was the parent of that child who brought the ginormous. Is it a teddy bear or is it a gorilla? It's a gorilla teddy bear. It's a gorilla bear.
Yes.
That's good. It's Godzilla. I found this one. Where have you seen a teddy bear that has its own chair? So I found this week. Thank you to Diana who pointed it out to me, and I ran and got it. I just adore it. You know, it goes in the little chair. Isn't it? Anyway, so thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for your generosity. So today, I am going to wrap up the entire series of the 5 gifts, or unwrap the gift. You can wrap it up or unwrap it. That's something we do at Christmas, right? Or the holiday season. We wrap gifts, and then in 2 seconds, especially our children, they unwrap them. Or maybe us as adults. Who likes to get presents? Anyone here like to get presents? Anyone here not like presents? I didn't think so. You don't like presents? Really? We'll have to talk. No, there has to be one. There's one in every group. Or isn't there? There's always one in every crowd. Well, today I will share with you the last of the 5 gifts, which they have been. The very first gift, who remembers the first gift we opened? Gratitude. We had gratitude. The next one was intention, forgiveness. I had someone call me this week and share that process of forgiveness changed her whole life. Isn't that great? And then we have, of course, we talked about circulation last week, and today is the gift called surrender. And I begin with just sharing a tiny bit about gratitude. It's from this quote. It says, if we desire riches, if you want to be rich in love and in peace and in joy and abundance, of course, because money is part of abundance, but abundance is more than money. What about if you could have an abundance of peace of mind? An overflowing abundance of happiness and joy. And Wouldn't that be great? So there's so many ways we can have abundance. And every time you are grateful, bless you, every time you are grateful, every time you appreciate something or someone, every time you say thank you, every time you celebrate and appreciate something, you are saying to the divine, you are saying to the universe, you are saying to the power that creates worlds, you are saying more of this, please. So that is incredible, that gratitude is the great multiplier. People who are miracle workers, and this included the great master teacher, Jesus, he always said, thank you, Father, and then he would do the miracle. So he actually gave gratitude first. So with that in mind, I wanted to share that I was at the Wake Up Santa. How many of you were at the Wake Up Santa parade yesterday? Okay, how many of you helped with that? Would you please stand so we can give you some love? If you were there and you helped decorate it.
Oh, I have time for the little costume.
Yes, that's right. Please stand up. Yes, so let's give them some love. Okay, now didn't that feel good? Doesn't it feel good? See, because as you are grateful, you raise your own vibration. It's one of the quickest ways to raise your vibration is to be in gratitude. So we say thank you. It feels good. Okay. And I wanted also to acknowledge there were 3 people who were really worked extra hard, and I brought them a gratitude gift. And so I'm going to call them up just because they did so much, so really, truly. And then I'll tell you my experience. It's interesting. So Lowell and Lisa, will you please stand and come up? I have a lovely present for you. You know I like chocolate. And we know that you like chocolate too. So I have these gifts to thank you. They put so much time, effort, money. There were 2,000 bracelets. And I helped tie them up with little cards. There was candy. There was a sound system. There was decorating. And to top it off, they gifted me this angel. Isn't that beautiful? So I am so grateful for all of your hard work and some frustration. We were trying to get the music to cooperate. It cooperated for a short time. But anyway, it was fabulous. So thank you so much to you, both of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was Darcy, but when she comes back with the kids, we'll talk to her. So that was all about week 1. Just remember that you too can be a miracle worker as you eat and breathe and live gratitude for everything. Okay, in week 2, we learned about intention and the power that happens when we are so clear and so aligned with the truth of our being and we set an intention. An intention has its own energy and will create for you what you set your mind to. We know that whatever you choose, wherever you focus your attention, whatever you are desiring in your heart, that you hold the vision for that, and the whole universe conspires for your good. So you make an unstoppable decision, a decision so clear about some good in your life, and it cannot help but come your way. It's just how intention works. The 3rd week, we learned about forgiving. Forgiveness is a spiritual practice that expresses compassionate feelings toward someone that we may be upset with. Anyone ever get upset with anyone? Especially during the holidays? Not so much. And we give. So forgiving is about forgiving by giving compassion, understanding, and unconditional love. That's forgiving. Last week, we talked about circulation, that we all have the gift of giving and receiving the gifts of spirit. For me personally, I immediately, as soon as I receive any gift of prosperity or money, I cannot wait to write out that check, 10% or more, to this center. Why? Because this center adds to the collective good of the planet by offering positive, loving ways of life. And by that, we expand that into our community, then more people come and they expand into community, and the better it gets, and the better it gets, and the better it gets, and the better it gets. So I give to this center because I believe in this teaching, and that I love that we honor all the paths as we love and bless ourselves and everyone in our experience. So that was last week about circulation. So today we explore a word that is sometimes not everyone's favorite word. It is the word surrender. Surrender. Isn't that a great word? You'll find out why it's so good in just a minute. So I'm going to share with you what is surrender, what or whom do we surrender to, and the benefits of that, and how do we practice surrender? What does that mean? What does that mean to practice that? So surrender is the last chapter of these 5 gifts that we have been unwrapping together, and the final spiritual practice that I'll share with you. For some people, they don't like that word. It means when you surrender, it's like a white flag on a battlefield. You could say, I've lost the battle. But what does the word truly mean? What does it mean to surrender? I looked it up because I love words and I love looking up words. I love looking upwards. And I love looking up words. So we can make, light of these. And by the way, the whole theme for December is going to be on light. On light. So the word surrender, listen to this. It means literally sure to render. What are we rendering? What does render mean? When you render something. Yeah, when you go, okay. Usually we are called to surrender when we are out of options. Have you ever said, I've had enough, I'm done? Anyone ever say that? I've had enough? What we've been through something, and we've tried and we tried and we tried to make it work, and we tried to make it work, and we've tried to create something, and it just didn't work. So what do we say? I surrender. Let's say that together. I surrender. You say, enough already. I'm done. And you know what happens a lot of times? Is when you finally give up, and you finally say, I'm done, something happens inside of you where you actually open to receive. Because, we get in our own way on rare occasion. So surrender is to turn it over, to turn the situation, the difficulty, the challenge, to turn that over to the power and to the presence of the divine, or the power and presence of spirit. And there are people of many traditions, the power and presence of the Christ consciousness. So we are saying, I don't know how to figure this out. I can't, but God can. And so you turn it over. Dr. Michael Beckwith says this. He's such a powerful speaker. How many of you have heard him speak? Yeah. He actually breaks microphones. He's so loud and and there's a power like that, and then there it goes. So he came to Medford one time, and he said, I'm just warning you ahead of time, Reverend Joanne, that I break microphones. And so we were all kind of like watching out for our microphone. But he is such an incredible speaker. This is what he said. I love his words. He said, surrender is a bold spiritual stance. A bold spiritual stance. It is the stance of a spiritual warrior. Doesn't that sound good? It is a spiritual warrior. What does a spiritual warrior do? They are so clear, they are so powerful about who they are. We are, I am, you are individualized expressions of the one life that is the divine, the one life of God. We are individualized expressions of that. Or as another teacher, Abraham Hicks, says, we are extensions of divinity. We are the heart, we are the hands of spirit on earth. There's a whole song, I don't know if you've heard that song. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the life of spirit on earth. So we are that, we are that. And this is taught in all of the religions of the world, even in Christianity and Buddhism and the Tao. It says that we are made in the image and the likeness of the divine. And even the Christ said, greater things than all of this ye shall do. So we are that. We have forgotten perhaps. Maybe our family of origin taught us something different. But as we uncover that, as we clear that, we become ever more aware of the truth of who we truly be. So it is a huge, bold spiritual practice. To surrender, it is the stance of the spiritual warrior, because listen to what he says. I love this. He says, okay, first of all, I want you to go, put your hands over your ears and lean forward. You got to hear this. This is so good. Because the reason it's such a bold stance is because we are surrendering to the next level of our evolution. The next level of the greatest, most wonderful new version of ourselves we have ever been. And the best news in the whole universe and the whole world is the past is history. Remember we did that already? I said I had some really good news. The past is history. It's gone. Even yesterday is gone. Even 5 minutes ago is gone. We are here now in this now time. And so we are surrendering or rendering to the greatest power, the power that creates worlds. We're turning our lives over. And there's something we do here in our teaching called visioning. Many of us, if I asked you all to give me the vision of your life, you would come up with something interesting and wonderful. But if you ask the infinite for its vision of you, I bet it would have something much greater and grander than you can ever imagine. There was a woman who was out of work. She wanted to get a job. And so there was an opening at a very large company. So she went in and she thought to herself, well, you know, the only job that I know how to do is I'm a secretary. So that's the job that she applied for. That was the thought she had about her life. So what job did she get? She became the secretary. There was also an opening for the vice president of the company, but she didn't apply to that one. Why not? She didn't believe that she was qualified. So a lot of times we don't believe that we're worthy of something. When the truth is that we are divine, infinite beings. Here, by the way, to have fun. So if you're not having fun, and you're not enjoying, you're not expressing all of these magnificent qualities of the divine, that's not it. You're not here to suffer. So it is. Yeah. So, I love his words. I'm going to share them again. He says, surrender is a bold spiritual stance that is the stance of the spiritual warrior, because what we are surrendering to is the next stage of our evolutionary, the greatest, grandest possibility. And as we surrender our all, we create the inner spaciousness. I love that. The inner spaciousness for life to be seen as it is. The truth of our being, which is divine. So any blocks, any doubt, worry, fear, envy are cleared as we surrender our life to the highest possibility. The highest possibility. So during those times when you realize that you are a hostage, and by the way, we're holding ourselves hostage. Anyone here thinks they're stuck somewhere? Come and talk to me. I will help you get unstuck. I will unstick you. No, I can't do that. But I will assist you in you unsticking yourself so that you don't feel stuck somewhere. So during those times that you realize that you have held yourself hostage, you can stop. I like this one. Let's do this. So if you're having a conversation with someone and they're going on and on about how terrible and bad and awful it is, you can go like this. And they'll look at you and they'll stop, because what is this? You guys know this. What's this? Yeah. Say time out. So yeah, if someone says, oh, it's terrible, try it. It really works. And then if you say the words time out, then they, really, it's very powerful. So we're surrendering to the greatest, next, grandest version of ourselves. It is the beginning of clear seeing, and part of that is releasing or letting go or clearing whatever stands in our way. So I'm going to do a couple clearing statements. So anywhere where I or any of us have held ourselves hostage or prisoner or feel that we are stuck in any way and we're not allowing our highest good, Are we, am I, are you now willing to release and uncreate all of that times a godzillion?
Yes.
I say my little prayer statement. Okay. Anywhere where you have not allowed you into the next grandest, greatest evolutionary being, all that God wants to express through you, where you have blocked yourself, anywhere where you're not allowing your good. Were you willing to release and uncreate all of that block, any block in your life, times a godzillion?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and cock. And what it's an acronym that I'll share with you. We do this in class. How many of you are in my class? Yeah, we do about 10 minutes of this every time. And anyone who's not in my class, you're welcome to come. We have about 34 students altogether. And there's always room for more. It's fabulous. We do 10 minutes of this every week. Clearing allows this, you literally clear it from your consciousness. And then you can then create what you do want. So the next question. So who or what, people ask this a lot about the will of God. What is the will of God? God's will for you is what you choose to be for your life as the highest possibility. It's not some awful thing. One of my teachers, Reverend Kathy Ann, said, I'll do anything you want. She's talking to God. I'll do anything you want, but don't send me to India. What if her highest good was there? Right? And many people are afraid to turn their lives over to the divine. The divine would never create anything through you that you don't or would not choose for yourself. And it's certainly being life itself, being joy itself, being love itself, being peace itself, being prosperity itself, would never choose for you anything less than absolutely the most incredible possibility. Just never would do that. So surrender is the act of turning it all over, the conscious choice to allow the presence and the power that created the universe upon universe upon universe upon universe to live your life through you in the greatest possible way. How good is that? Imagine allowing the sweet divine presence, imagine allowing that to live its life through you. Imagine the choices open to you as you turn your life over to this immense, loving, expressive power. Imagine the grace that you would experience every day. Imagine the relief you would feel if you really knew you were not alone, that power, that which sees through your eyes and breathes through you, is this infinite life of God itself, of Spirit itself. It is living its life. Right now, looking through your eyes up here, is the divine. The divine is in you. You are the heart and the hands of that. So imagine that presence guiding you in every moment, loving you through everything, all of your contrasts. We talk about contrast. Those of you who are new, contrast just means those things that provide you with an opportunity. When you are given or you choose to experience something less than what you want, it is an opportunity because you are never more clearly aware of what you do want as when you experience what you don't want, right? If you don't have any money in your checkbook or in your savings account, then you are more aware than ever that you'd really like some, right? If you're hungry, if you're starving, you haven't had breakfast yet, your stomach's growling, you're very aware that you would like food, yes? So it's those times of contrast that are actually a blessing. So we're going to do a little bit of practice right now. I'm going to ask you to say these things with me. You just bless. I always send a blessing whenever I hear an ambulance. I'll tell you a story about that some other time. Okay, the spiritual practice of surrender. Here it is. Surrender is the conscious choice to allow the power and the presence of infinite spirit to live its life through, as, and in me. So I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to ask you to say it with me, just in case you don't want to. You know, some of you are like, oh, I'm not ready. Maybe you're not ready to have your life be the most fabulous possibility. Maybe some people want to hang on to it's not so good. My mother was one who liked to find reasons not to be happy. That's why I'm named Joy. kind of the opposite. And so I thought that was very interesting. So I would name something really great and wonderful, and she would come up with a reason that, to be unhappy about it. So that's why I'm so joyful, because I know that that kind of attitude creates our reality, right? Anyway, so I now choose, let me say it first, I now choose to let go and to let God. I surrender. So if you're willing to say that, I'll say it again. I want you to say it after me. I now choose to let go and let God. I surrender. I now choose to go with the flow of life rather than oppose it. I now choose to relinquish my resistance to accepting the highest and best good for my life. Yes, I now submit my little human self to the greater possibility of my life. I now submit my inner ear to listen to the divine within me, forever singing its inspiration to me. I rest in the divine as the divine. I surrender. So remember, an advanced level of beholding is experienced when you surrender. You take the stance of the spiritual warrior. Doesn't that sound good? I love that. Who remembers Xena? Xena, the spiritual warrior. You grow into the awareness and the realization that you are that which is divine. You are that. And therefore, anything that you choose, anything that you believe, anything that you set your heart, your intention, your life, you can receive. When you believe, you receive. And so I invite you this week to embody, once again, all of these divine attributes, these 5 gifts. Gratitude, to live your life in gratitude in every moment. What was number 2? Set your intentions. Are you the secretary or are you the president of the corporation? Set your intentions. Reach for the moon. Reach for the stars. And then if you get the moon, well, that's okay. Reach for the highest possibility. Take that stance of the spiritual warrior. What was number 3? Forgiveness. Be giving of compassion, understanding, and unconditional love. Be willing to unhook yourself from anyone you're angry with. When you're angry with someone, you're gluing them to you, the thing you don't want. You're putting, what is that stuff? Rubber cement. And you're gluing yourself to the person you were mad at. I hate you. I don't like you. I wish you would go away. Go, you know where, to the other place we don't believe in. I want you gone. You have just taken that in, and you're making it worse in a way. What's number 4? Circulation. You give. That we live in a universe of dynamic exchange. We give and we receive. We give and we receive. We give and we receive. And we give our gift of prosperity to those places that remind us of who we are, that expand the positivity in this world and in this universe. And finally today, we surrender. And what do we surrender to? We render our life to the highest good. It is a bold spiritual stance. What is God's idea of your life? What is Spirit's vision for you? And so let us take this into our prayer time right now as we embody this in our closing treatment. I'm just taking a moment as we have our beautiful wing music will start. These are called the wings. And so in this now moment, I am recognizing that there is one power, one life, one essence, one infinite beingness that created the entire universe upon universe upon universe upon universe forever expanding. And that you and I are absolutely one with this essence that is divinity, that is divine, that I call God, but it is known by many names. I know that I am absolutely, eternally, forever one. One with the Christ consciousness. One with the great master teachers of all time. One with the life that is God through and as me. And knowing that, I speak my word that I now practice, I now embody, I now welcome, I now live and move and have my being in gratitude. I wake up every day, I count my blessings. I wake up every day and I say, I choose to be happy. I create my day with my thoughts, my words, my actions that become my reality. I create my world by how I perceive it. And I see it as God expressing. I choose my intentions carefully and set them every day. I practice the art of forgiveness, forgiving, to give compassion, understanding and unconditional love to everyone. I circulate the great gifts of spirit, the love, the joy, the peace, the beauty, the laughter, the delight, the prosperity, all of it. And I surrender. I practice these 5 gifts, and I therefore live my life abundantly, for I know that I am a divine being on an eternal journey, and there is unstoppable good that is always rushing, pouring, streaming, flowing to me as I sit quiet. I am a divine receiver of all of the gifts, and I am a divine giver of all of the gifts of spirit. And so I am just in such gratitude to know this, to be this, to feel this with every fiber of my being, to be that gift. Everyone in this room is the gift of spirit. And what gifts are we giving? The love, the peace, the joy, the beauty, the laughter, the fun, the delight, the prosperity, the wholeness, the health. We radiate that. And so in gratitude, I just say, thank you, God. I release, I surrender this treatment into the law of mind, knowing it is done, knowing it has already been received, acted upon, and is now made visible. And so in that place of gratitude, of graciousness, of inner spaciousness, living as the truth of my being, divine being, having a delightful, fun time, a giver and receiver of the gifts of spirit. And so with that knowing and with that accepting, let us say together, and so it is.